120. Mexico City.
My holidays are starting tomorrow. I'm going to Mexico with my wife and some friends for 3 weeks.
Hey, you'll have a great time. It's a very different country. I was there some years ago. We went on a business trip to Mexico's famous book fair. It's a very important fair for the distribution of books to all South America. Have you ever been there?
No, we've never been to America. We've never flown across the Atlantic. Tomorrow will be the first time. We leave at 11 p.m. from Gatwick Airport.
At 11. I suppose you know you have to get to the airport 2 hours before. That means 9 p.m.
I don't like to get there that much ahead of time.
Well, on international flights, it's absolutely necessary. At least 1.5 hours before takeoff. That way, you'll do everything without stress. You'll get the boarding card without queuing. If you're among the first ones, you'll get a better place on the plane. And you'll be able to look in the duty-free shops without being in a hurry.
That's true, Wilfred. You're right. I will get there in plenty of time.
You have to take the train at Victoria Station.
How long does it take to get to the airport from Victoria Station?
It takes 40 minutes by train. It's very practical. Quicker than going by taxi. But don't think it's going to be very cheap. What time will you arrive in Mexico?
We fly directly from London and we get to Mexico at 7 o'clock.
Are you going to follow a set program in Mexico, or are you going to improvise as you go along?
They told us that it's not worth staying in Mexico City. That's why we thought of flying straight on to Cancun on the same day.
Don't even consider that. You should stay in the capital for at least 3 days, in spite of the pollution, the traffic, and the 15 million inhabitants.
And what do you suggest we should do there?
There are lots of interesting tourist places. There's a very different and interesting atmosphere. You should go to the open-air restaurants where there's mariachi music. If you want, I can write you out a list of some of the nicest things to see, and I'll fax it to you tonight. I've still got the notes that I took on my trip there.
That's going to be very useful.
They have collective taxis there, or at least they used to have them when I was there.
And what are they?
They're taxis that follow the same route all the time, from one end of the city to the other, down in the main street, which is very long. And they keep collecting people who wave at them. They go by constantly, and you never have to wait for more than a minute.
And how do you share the expenses?
You stop the taxi by waving your hand, and you get in. As you get in, you pay a fixed price, very cheap, no matter how far you go. There are other people inside the taxi. They've all paid the same amount. At any point, you can ask the taxi driver to stop, and you get out. It's very simple.
I think it's a good idea.
A very good one. I don't understand why it doesn't exist in other cities. I've only seen it in Mexico.
And I think the Mexican economy is much better now.
Yeah, they're solving the crisis they had some years ago. The whole of South America is getting better, both politically and economically. But there's still a lot of crime in some countries. In Mexico, you still have to be careful when you go out at night.
Well, Wilfred, when I come home tonight, I'll start to pack my cases. Don't forget to send me the fax. We'll drink a toast to you in Mexico. When we get back, we'll invite you over for dinner to tell you all about our trip.
I think you'll have a good time. I envy you. I'd love to be in your place.